Good morning. Welcome to a new trading week. Welcome to another live section where we use smart money concept to actually look at our trades, look at the chart, break down the charts, look at the overview for the week, and make our bias from what the market is telling us or what we can see on the chart. So please, if you can hear me and if you can see my screen, please let me know in the comment section, please. If you can hear me and if you can see my screen, let me know in my comment section before I proceed, please. If you can hear me and can see the screen, let me know. Okay. Alright. So we'll be starting with BTC this morning as usual. We'll be starting with BTC. So let's look at BTC from the weekly time frame so we'll know our weekly bias. So we can actually make our decision for this coming week. Alright. So here we are on the weekly time frame. This is BTC on the weekly time frame, and on the weekly time frame, you can see that we are bullish on BTC. We are bullish, but we are kind of like in a bearish corrective move. We are kind of like in a bearish corrective move. So let's get to mark the structure now. So coming here, we have this break of structure, the upside. You have another break of structure here to the upside on the weekly. And where is the last order block on the weekly? This candle here is the last order block that took out this high. Try, let me put on my highlighter. Okay, so this high was the last high that was taken out. So if you had to look at the weekly structure, what are we expecting on the weekly structure? Want to see price come into this zone on the weekly structure. This is the last order block, and as you can see, price has already tapped into this zone on the weekly level. So now let's step down to the daily, then 4 hours down to 1 hour to actually see price in a clear direction, so we'll be able actually to take our trade. All right, so stepping down to the daily. So here on the daily time frame, this is what we can see on the daily time frame. If we look at the daily time frame, we'll have to refine this order block to this point on the daily time frame. This is the order block on the daily. We have our break of structure at this point on the daily. So this is what we have on the daily. This is the order block. This is the other block. Let's see if there was a break of structure at this point or we have a sweep of liquidity. Okay, so on the daily, there is a break of structure at this point, and there's a change of character on the daily time frame at this point. So on the daily time frame, market is already turned bearish at this point. You know, this was the last low that actually took out this high, giving us the last break of structure at this point. At this point now, the market has violated this point, which gives us a change of character at this low. So here we have a change of character. This tells you that what we are bearish and we should be looking out for more bearish sentiment to the downside. And what have you seen? From this point, you can actually see that the market has actually come back to what? Tap this supply, because how this supply market tapped into on the daily time frame, and you can see what the market is reacting to the downside. So where is our target for this price action? This is the first target we want to actually see price clear this low. As you all know, when you're actually taking your sell or your buy, the first target should always be at what? The first or the immediate low that is closer to point. So this is the point we should be looking at for, in as much as we have this zone we are trying to target, and this is what our inducement zone. This is our inducement at this point. We have this low as what? Our inducement. And below our inducement, we have this fair value gap, which validates this other block for us to actually what? Take our trade from. There's what? FVG there. And we don't take our trades without what? FVG. We don't take our trades without FVG. If you look at this point, there is what? FVG, which makes this point what? Our point of inducement, and this is our other block. This zone here is our other block. So actually we want to step down to the 4 hours, then 1 hour, to actually see if we can tag along with this sell to actually what? Push this price all the way to this low. And after this low, we'll get to look for further confirmation to actually what? See what the price is to do or will be doing at that point. So we'll be stepping down to the 4 hours now. So here on the 4 hours, let's look at the 4 hours price action. Let's look at the 4 hours price action. So looking at the 4 hours price action, this was what? The last high on the 4 hours after price mitigated what? Daily supply. So at this point, we had what? It was a change of character on the 4 hours. This was a change of character on the 4 hours. After having that change of character, we had what? A break of structure at this point. After the break of structure, we are looking out for what? More reasons to actually what? Take our sells. So this is the 4 hour structure. This is what the 4 hour structure looks like. And on the daily, this was what? Our target. Let me change this to, okay, let me just label it our target. So this is our target, where we want to actually take our sell and actually close our sell position at. So looking at the 4 hours, what can we see? What can we see? So on the 4 hours, this is the last supply we are left with. This is the last supply on the 4 hours. And on these 4 hours, we want to actually what? Get all the confluences we are looking at for to actually what? Validate this particular trade. So looking at this 4 hour supply zone, we already see that well, there's a momentum to the downside. We have this fair value gap, and this point is what? Our inducement point. Well, maybe when we step down to the 1 hour, we'll get to see a clear picture of that zone. So looking at the 4 hours, this is the supply zone we actually want to take our trade from to actually get a continuation to the downside. So let's step down to the 1 hour to actually what? Get our trade entry. So here on the 1 hour, so we are here on the 1 hour, and this is what the 1 hour chart looks like on the 1 hour. So we have this as what? Our inducement, and I think price has actually what? Taking that out. Okay, so this is our inducement. This is our inducement, and what are we expecting? We want to see price what? Run all the way to this supply zone for us to actually what? Take our trade from. For us to actually take our trade from. So this is what we'll have. Our what? Sell order at this point. Okay, so this is our stop loss, and we'll be going for a 1:3. So if we are going for a 1:3, this is our take profit for a 1:3. And if we want to actually target this point, this is 1:4. And if you target this line, this is we have this as a 1:5.7. The 1:5.7, but I always trade strictly 1:3. I always stick with 1:3. In case of any reversal, I'm already out of the market. So this is what we have on BTC this morning. So this is what we have on BTC this morning. For those actually maybe want to see the coordinate, here's the coordinate on the screen. So our entry price is 113195.78. Then our stop loss is 114198.81. We have our take profit at 110177.52. That's for 1:3. This trade will also be sent to the Telegram channel. So if you're not in the on the Telegram channel, please do it to join the Telegram channel. So you actually get a follow up when we take our trade, break even, and when we actually exit our trade. So that's basically what we'll do on the Telegram. We don't just drop the signal there. We'll do a kind of we'll do a follow up. So everyone will be carried along. That is it. So this is the first trade we're looking at for this week here on BTC. Let's head over to USD JPY. Okay, so here we are on USD JPY. For those in the community, we made a lot of money from USD JPY as of last week. Last week was a good week, in as much as it was just one trade we took, but it was a profitable week for us. Alright, so let's look at USD JPY from daily time frame. So looking at USD JPY from the daily time frame, what can we actually see on this daily time frame? First, from this chart, I can see we have this order block at this point, and what can you see? Market has actually come back to tap into this order block. So we are trading the continuation to the upside. So first, let's mark our trading range on the daily time frame to actually understand the directional bias for this pair. So looking at this, what can we see? At this point, we have this high, because this was the last supply that this price actually was tapped into, and what price reacted to the downside, but price wasn't able to violate this low. So we are still bullish to the upside. Now we have this low on the daily. This is like the major lows and highs on the daily time frame for USD JPY, and we're stepping down to 4 hours to actually understand the current price action if we have any trade set up, set up for USD JPY. So now stepping down to the 4 hours, what can we see on the 4 hours? Okay, so on the 4 hours, for those that have actually been active during our live sections, we'll be actually be waiting for this order block, and this order block was what actually caused this break of structure, the last break of structure we had at this point, and price has actually come back to it, tested it, and on the 1 hour there was kind of like a refinement at this point, which we are waiting for price to actually come back here before the news event we had that day, and price tapped in, took us out, then continue to the upside. And looking at this price, what can we see? As you can see, this is what a ranging market. And when you have a ranging market, this tells you that what you have this liquidity pool. At this point, this is a liquidity pool at this point. So let me take this out. So this is our liquidity pool, and where was our change of character? We had a change of character at this point. This was our change of character on the 4 hours. So let's step down to the 1 hour first. We should know that what this is our target we want to see on USD/JPY on the 4 hours. We want to actually what see price come back to this point on 4 hours. So with that, with this bias or with this target on 4 hours, let's step down to the 1 hour to actually what see if there is any trade possibility on USD/JPY. So from the video I dropped on YouTube over the weekend, for those that have watched that video, you see after we had this change of character, waited for our price to come back into this zone, which price actually what came back into this zone before what reacting to the upside. After this break of structure to the upside at this point, we are expecting market to actually what come back to this other block here, also actually what take another buy. So at this point, this is the current trade we should be looking at for on USD/JPY. This point, but as I earlier explained in the video I dropped over the weekend, I said we won't be taking this trade on price just coming back to this other block. We won't be going in with what market order or aggressive entry, because what I didn't get any engineered liquidity before this point or any sort of what inducement before this other block. And if market should open by today without actually what giving us any valid reason to actually take this trade, we are not taking this trade. We are not taking this trade. So for this USD/JPY trade, we actually want to see what this price either what break below, come back to reclaim this other block, giving us what a confirmation entry for us to actually what take this setup. I don't know if you get. If this price doesn't give us any entry confirmation on maybe 15 minutes or 30 minutes, we are not taking this buy. This is the point of interest I've actually been anticipating for since last week Friday or Thursday. So we are already at our point of interest, but what there is no confirmation yet. And for the fact we didn't have any sort of inducement on the 1 hour, this point is invalid according to what our trading rules. So we actually want to see this price give us entry confirmation on maybe a smaller time frame. Let's see the price action on the 30 minutes. Okay, let's step down to 15 minutes. Let's get to look for something different. Alright, so this is price on the 15 minutes. So we actually want to see this price break above this point. We want to see this price break above this point, giving us what a change of character. And upon getting a change of character at this point, so this is what we want to see. We want to see this price move up, then maybe come back to our other block before we join the trend. So without this, then this point is what an invalid trade for us. And if we are able to get in on the 15 minutes, this is our target. So for now, all fingers crossed. I've not actually called out this trade. This is just like what my expectation, what I actually want to see to actually what validate this setup. So without this trade giving us a proper change of character, this trade is invalid. This trade is invalid. So we'll be waiting for the smaller time frame confirmation, change of character on the 15 minutes forward in on that buy, because there is no inducement on this point. The next pair we'll be looking at is looking at what? Ethereum. For the crypto traders in the house. Please, if you're having issues with seeing the screen, please I'll do it to leave and join again, because from my end, my second device I'm using to monitor is actually what? Okay. So please, if you're having issue with seeing the screen, I think maybe it should be a network. Please, you can leave and join again. Let me know, please. You can leave and join again, please. From my end, everything is okay. So, Alison, please confirm from your end. Confirm from your end, because from my own end, everything is okay. You can leave and join again. You can leave and join again. Let me know, please. Okay, so let's look at Ethereum. So looking at Ethereum from the daily time frame. Wow. So looking at the most recent price action, what can we see on Ethereum from the recent price action? Okay, I can see it now. Thank you. Okay, all right. So this is Ethereum on the daily time frame. So this is the last order block we want to see price come back into. We had what? A break of structure at this point. So this was our break of structure, and at this point we have another what? Break of structure. At this point, this was what? Our inducement, and price has actually what? Taken it out. So on the daily, we now have this change of character on the daily time frame. So this is a change of character on the daily time frame. We want to see price pull back into this zone. So now let's step down to the 4 hours to actually what? Understand the directional bias for the what? 4 hours time frame. So having this change of character at this point, what can we see on the 4 hours? So first, looking at this entire price leg to the downside, we already have here as what? Our liquidity on the 4 hours. This is our liquidity on the 4 hours. So let's step down to 1 hour to actually what? Get a precise trade entry. Get a precise trade entry. So this is on the 1 hour. And on the 1 hour, when you have this type of zone, when you have all of this liquidity build up, a lot of times what you see market do is something like have a kind of like a sweep this way, market come back, then what? Continue to the downside. That's the first scenario. That's if market wants to actually what? Trade from this zone, because what? You can't actually trade from this supply. If you actually want to trade from this supply zone, let me make this chart. Okay, so if you actually want to trade from this type of supply zone, most of the times you end up what? Being taken out, because this is what? A liquidity point. This is a liquidity pool, and based on what we analyze on BTC, if the price is actually to move up, then this zone will be violated. So where is the next zone actually want to see this price actually what? Run into? If you look at this point, we have this fair value gap. And at that fair value gap, you have what? There is this zone. You have this zone sitting here. You have this zone here, which we actually want to see this price what? Move into. take out all of this liquidity and price what move into this zone. That's if the price is still what bearish, and what get our entry confirmation on the 15 minutes to actually what take this sell to the downside. If this point is violated, then we will look for reasons to actually what continue the buy all the way to this zone. This is where we have the next supply zone we actually want to what trade from. So if this zone is violated, then we will be looking for what reasons to actually what take more buy setup to the upside. I believe this is copied. Let me know. So we've already looked at BTC, we've looked at Ethereum, we've looked at USD JPY. Now let's go to GBP JPY before we look at. So I believe for Ethereum, this is copied. The BTC distinct chart setup will be sent on the Telegram community so that everyone that is interested in taking that trade, we actually would take the trade. Then we've already looked at USD JPY, and we said what we are waiting for entry confirmation on USD JPY because what there is no what engineered liquidity on this setup. This is what a valid trade, but what want to see what a change of character on the lower time frame at this point from what we explained earlier on the 15 minutes, what we actually what go in. But this is what a valid order block we actually want to trade from. But for the fact we didn't have any engineered liquidity when price was coming to the downside or any sort of inducement, we won't actually be taking this buy setup for now until we get entry confirmation on the 15 minutes before we actually will take this trade. So let's move over to GBP JPY. So looking at GBP JPY from the daily time frame, are we bullish or bearish? So looking at GBP JPY on the daily time frame, what do you think? Let me know in the comment section. This is the current price action. Are we bullish or bearish? Let me know. What was your thought on GBP JPY? Are we bullish or bearish? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If we are bullish or bearish. Are we bullish on GBP JPY or we are bearish? Bullish or bearish? Looking at the daily time frame. Before I proceed, are we bullish or we are bearish? Let's know our thoughts. We are bearish. Okay. All right. So let's see. So looking at it from this range. This was what the last. This was the last break of structure on the daily time frame. We are bullish. We are bearish. Okay. Okay. Let's get to find it out together here. So looking at this range, the price is what? Price is bullish. Even if you want to look at it from this point, the price is still what? The price is still bullish. But we are having a kind of like what retracement on what the smaller time frame, and I understand why we are having that retracement. So if you see after this massive push, we had another what push to the upside. So for now we are still what? We are still bullish on GBP JPY, sorry. So let's go down to the 4 hours to actually see if we have any reason to actually what take a buy or a sell. buy or a sell. Okay, so here on the 4 hours, this was the last break of structure or marked on the daily. So let's actually look at this trading range we have at this point. So at this point, this is the high. This is the high of this movement, and at this point we already have a change of character on the 4 hours. So on these 4 hours, and this is the last low we want to see price clear. Now if you look at GBP JPY is kind of like in a ranging market. It's kind of like in a ranging market. So let's actually go to the 1 hour to actually get a clear price action to see reason for us to actually take a sell or a buy. So from the 4 hours and on the 1 hour, this is where we had a change of character. So we have a change of character at this point. We had a break of structure at this point. This was the last break of structure we had on the 1 hour to the upside. After having this break of structure, market gave us this inducement, giving us with this supply zone. Now for us to actually trade from this supply zone, what can you see? You see there was an impulsive movement to the downside. After having the impulsive movement, this was the end of it before you had another break of structure to the downside at this point, and you have this fair value gap sitting here. So let's actually see if this point has been mitigated. Okay, so looking at the 1 hour, this has been mitigated. So what was the next point of interest we want to see? We want to actually see this price continue to the downside, because all we have at this low, look at this point, we have relative equal lows. So having this type of price action, and if you put your trend line at this point, I don't trade trend line, but I only use it as my liquidity confluence. So this is it. So at this point, you can see that you have here your liquidity. Good morning, Victor. You've already missed. This is already like 37 minutes late, so you've missed already now, but you can always still go back and check what you've missed. Okay, so this point, we want to see this price crash to continue to the downside. So on the 4 hours, let's go back to the 4 hours. So this is what we have. So on the 4 hours, we are bearish, but on the daily, we are still bullish. So we want to see this price continue all the way to the downside. And looking at the 4 hours chart on GBP JPY doesn't look we don't have any trade possibility yet, because we have all of this trendline liquidity still resting here, and we want to actually see price. Take out this trendline liquidity. Also have this one sitting here. So our buyers want to see more sell to the downside. We already missed out on the initial sell, so all fingers crossed. Let's see the next line of action on GBP JPY, and if this point is violated, if this supply zone is violated, then we should be looking at to take out this high. There is no point you looking for you selling this point, because this point has all been mitigated. This zone has all been mitigated. This zone was mitigated by this candle. This was mitigated by this other candle and this candle. All of this will actually be explained in the upcoming classes that will be starting by October till December. So for you to actually know the zone to actually pick I think the entry to the class has been closed yesterday 11:59 p.m. So till next year again for the free class, but for the paid class is always opened. Okay, so this is what we want to see. We want to see price continue to the downside, and if this price is actually to continue to the downside, then USD JPY we might not have any reason to buy. But if we get any entry confirmation on USD JPY to continue to the upside, then we'll be taking this. But for GBP JPY, we have no trade. We have no trade. There is no point for us actually trying to join this because it's already in progress. And if this price should retrace back to this point, then it means this zone is what going to be what invalid. So that is it for GBP JPY. So the only point you're actually looking for trade setup today is we have a USD JPY, we have a Bitcoin, then I think Ethereum. Will check back on Ethereum, but for the pairs, I think we have a Bitcoin that will be sent to the group. Then the USD JPY on confirmation, this will also be sent to the Telegram community. So let's look at gold. Let's look at gold, the bosses of all bosses. Okay, gold has been super bullish. Like if there is any word for that, and gold has been bullish. All right, so let's look at it. So from the weekly, all we can see is what the price is bullish. The price is bullish. So if we are to actually look for any trade buyers who want to actually see what trade in the direction of the market, you know one thing, you have to always trade in the direction of the market. Market is always right. The market is always right. So we have to always trade in direction of the market. So on the daily time frame, this is what we have on our daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, what can we see? So we have this break of structure to the upside on the daily time frame. We have this to the upside, another break of structure, and we have this to the upside. All right, so let's step down to 4 hours. Let's actually see what price is doing on 4 hours. So on the 4 hours, the market is still what? Market is still bullish on the 4 hours time frame. So what are we expecting? We want to actually see price come back to this order block on the 4 hours. But let's step down to the 1 hour to actually get a clear picture. So, you don't just mark any other block on gold. So let's get to actually understand what price was doing on the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, I can see this other block. The price mitigated. I think we didn't go live last week because of we had some technical issue. Even not, I think we'll have actually buttoning on this buy to the upside. So coming down to today on the 1 hour, what do you want to see? So finding this 4 hour zone, this is what we have on the 1 hour. So this is what we want to see on the 1 hour. We actually want to see this price retrace back to this zone. Don't forget, price coming back to this zone doesn't validate this other block. What validates this other block is the liquidity build up before this point. Now, a lot of person will not understand what I just explained. Okay, look at this. If you look at this other block, if you look at this other block, after this other block, what will you see? You see there was a fair value gap. I don't trade every day, and a lot of times I get to take maybe just one trade a week, just like last week, just one trade in a week. That's how patient I am in actually what getting my entry confirmation. I don't try to rush my setup. I don't try to rush my buyers. If it's not there, it's not there. I look for something else to do with my time. So this is my words fair value gap at this point. So at this point, you can say we have this fair value gap. What do you have? You have this inducement sitting here. You have this inducement sitting at this point. And what did you see? You see, there was kind of like what? Engineered liquidity. What did you see? Price moved down, came back down, gave you what? A change of character at this point before going up. And a lot of persons will be coming back here to mark here as what? Their order block. When you don't understand the concept of inducement, then you will be the what? Liquidity in the market. Now, this price came back. What did you see? It failed before coming back to the original order block. Now, how are you able to actually know that this is the original order block? When you have this break or structure to the upside, this order block, the first order block a lot of times is what? An inducement zone. Now, you won't be able to understand this till you gather enough experience from trading. And it's till you actually gather enough experience from the market, or you're able to actually put what you've learned into practice. That's when you actually get to understand that what not all other blocks are other blocks to trade from. And that is why what we have our confirmations. That's why we have our confirmation. So that was how immediately price tapped into this zone. You see, it reacted to the upside. So now we have this other block we're expecting price to come back to. Having this other block, want to see what market give us some sort of inducement before this zone. Because looking at this zone, I don't have any fair value gap. Okay, let me see. I think there is one here. I have this fair value gap here. Okay, I have this fair value gap. So what I'll be waiting for now is I'll be waiting for price to actually what give me what some sort of what engineered liquidity for this zone to actually validate this trade. So for Go traders on this live section, please, this is not what a go in trade for now. Get some confirmation before what actually we're taking this trade. Very, very important. Just like what we are anticipating on USDJP, where you can see the price already tapped into our zone, is reacting, but we are not moved by this reaction because price can actually tap into your zone, react, and will still fail. So we want to actually see a change of character above what this 1 hour candle we are seeing here, or we'll go down to the 15 minutes to actually what get our trade confirmation, and what will continue in the price direction. Okay, so I think we have like just 12 minutes left. So let's look at GU and EU. GU and EU, for those that don't like trading exotic pairs. For those that don't like trading exotic pairs, so from the last live section, this has been our bias. So let's look at what the current price action on GU looks like from the daily, then down to the current time frame. This week is gonna be a profitable week for all of us. So if you do what is right, very, very important, if you do what is right, because you can't over leverage or overexpose your account and you want to see profitability. No, if you do what is right. So on the daily time frame on GU, we can see that what GU moved into this other block, and on this other block, this has been mitigated. So where is the next other block we want to actually see price move into? This is our next other block on the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, our GU is what? GU was what? Bullish before tapping into this supply zone. So what are we looking for on this pair. So at this point, we already have this relative equal what? Equal lows on the daily time frame. So let's step down to the 4 hours to actually what? See what we are expecting on GU. Amen. I want a profitable week. Definitely, no, definitely now. It's going to be a profitable week if we stick to our rules. You know, the market is always right. That is one thing. That is one thing traders don't know. The market is always right. And when a lot of persons gets to blame it on the market that the market did them dirty, then it's not actually the market. It's you that actually did yourself dirt. Maybe you overexpose yourself to the market and you are liquidated. You have to treat trading like real life business where what you have to keep showing up daily. You have to know that what trading is risky, and with that mindset, be able to actually what know that you're not supposed to overexpose your account. So now, what can we see on GU? We have this supply zone. We have this supply zone. So that was the last supply zone we had on the 4 hours, and price didn't tap into it. Looking at it from the 4 hours, then uh, what can we see on the left hand side? Looking at the left hand side, price has already tapped into one zone we are expecting, which led to all of this entire movement to the upside. But I'm not actually seeing this as a good buy, although I actually called this during the last live section we had that we want to actually see GU come into this zone before expanding to uh the upside. But let's actually get a clear view on 1 hour, because I'm seeing a tricky zone sitting here. So let's analyze this movement to the downside at this point. So marking the external zone, this is what our change of character. This is our change of character, the external zone. So after having this change of character, we had what? A break of structure at this point. We have another word, break of structure at this point. So looking at this this is the last break of structure, and price has already tapped into this 1 hour this 1 hour order block we were expecting, and what kind of like swept that low, and price is retracing to the upside. So what was our bias for GU for today? For me, this is the last supply zone I would have actually want to see price react from, but there is no inducement before that zone, so I actually want to get a confirmation from this zone. I actually want to get a confirmation. Reason because I have this liquidity sitting here. So we have to be very, very careful trading from this supply zone. We have to be very, very careful trading from this supply zone. So if this supply zone is too good, want to see some sort of confirmation to the downside. Anything above this, then expect the price to continue to the upside. Anything above this zone, then, because what? Have this liquidity line here, and this is very, very important. If you actually want to understand liquidity in the market, because when you have this type of tricky zones, you have to be very, very careful. Because this price is actually reacting from this demand zone, and this point we didn't have any inducement, so selling at this point, it's very, very dangerous. And if we must sell, then we want to see price at least take out this liquidity at this point, then give us a reversal to the downside. It's explained clearly. Want to sell from here, you have to get entry confirmation, but I won't actually love to actually take my trade from this point because what, there is no liquidity or inducement before my zone. I want to see engineered liquidity before this zone to validate this zone. So if I don't get any entry confirmation on this zone, I'm not taking this trade. And looking to the top, you can actually see that what we have liquidity. So breaking above here, market might decide to push up. I think we have news today. I will check the calendar and also update us on the group. So for this sell, all fingers crossed, please be very careful. If you are trading GU, be very careful. But if this sell should hold, then this low should be taken out and price should continue to the downside on GU. So let's look at 4 hours to actually see. So if this sell should hold from this point, this price, there's tendency that this price will actually take out this zone. Price should continue to the downside because this supply is still what in control. In as much as the price didn't tap into it, it's already assumed that price has already mitigated it. If you look at it on the daily, so you have to be very careful. Actually looking for longs, but on the 1 hour, let's see what the price will do. If we get a sweep at this point, then we'll actually will take this sell on GU. But for now, we'll stay out and see what the price gives to us. So let's look at EU before we close. So we'll just look at EU on the 4 hours because we have just 4 minutes left. So looking at EU on 4 hours price action and looking at the current price action. Let's look at where the price is coming from and where the price is going to. So this is the high, this is our high, and where is our low for now? This is our low. So this is like what the trading range we have. This is the trading range we have. So let's get to actually see the left hand side, what we should be expecting price to actually give to us. So if we look at this point, this was where we had this massive overall change of character. We had a change of character on the 4 hours, and you have to be very careful on EU. We have this supply sitting here. We have, I want to mark out all of this all of the demand zones we have, then go in with what looks more valid. All right, so this is what we have on EU, and if you look at this push, this zone is what was responsible for this push to the upside. Market came back down, you had this push to the upside, giving you another break of structure at this point. And you can see that price has already come back to mitigate this zone. We still have this fair value gap sitting below at this point. We had this push to the upside again. Price came back, mitigated this one, and we had this push for having this whole continuation to the upside. So this is the last order block that actually caused this push, this entire movement, and price is yet to actually mitigate this particular order block. So we have this as our inducement. We have this as our inducement. So this is our inducement. Having this as our inducement, let's go to the 1 hour to actually see if that order block is something to actually trade from. So on the 2 hours, let's see what the price looks like. So here on the 2 hours, this is what we have. And having this zone, I'll actually take out this one. I'll take out this one, and I'll actually want to see price. React from this one. Why am I taking this one? Let me get to explain the reason. So I'll actually be expecting price to actually what? Take out this inducement and react to the upside. And if price fails to do that, then it means we are bearish. And the next zone I actually want to see price come back into is this zone. This is the next zone I actually want to see price come back into. So for now, all fingers crossed, waiting for this zone, and lastly, waiting for this zone. So now you actually get to understand why I don't get to see trade opportunity every day, or I don't get to hop in on every setup I see out there, because what I want to see clear direction. I want to see all my confluences, like they are all met. A lot of persons actually want to either what see what other block at this point and actually want to take trade from. There is no point trying to always trade from every break of structure you see and all of those things. No, there's no point. Let's get to see if we can actually get a sell, since we already have our buy already in place. If we actually want to look for a sell, this is what we should be looking at for. Want to see price come back into this point, but that inducement at this point. So for the sell, this is what we want to see. We want to see price come back to this zone. And for the buy, let's see on the 1 hour if the buy is valid on the 1 hour. So okay, so on the 1 hour, this is what we have. So we want to either see what price come to this supply zone, then we'll continue this sell, or price come back into this zone and look for reasons to buy. So this is all for this week. And if you actually want to understand how all of this charts being marked and you want to have a better understanding, check out other videos on my channel. They are very, very educational. You can actually get to understand how all of this is being marked. And for those that have already signed up for the class, all of this will be given to you for free. You're not paying a dime for anything. So see you next Monday. And if you actually got value from this live section, please let me know your comments in the comment section. Please drop your review, and if you also be present by next week, also leave it in the comment section, so that in case I don't see you next week, I will call you out publicly on this live section. I will call you out publicly on this live section. And for our latecomer, Victor, I'll also call you out next week too. So it was a great one. And I hope to always do this with all of us, where we always come together to learn, share our thoughts, and also grow together as one family. It's very, very important. You can't do this alone. You always have to come together to learn, to share our knowledge, to share our ideas, our bias, and that's how you get to grow together. Because a lot of times you might think you are seeing something in the market, or the reason why you're actually failing on something, someone else may actually be seeing a different perspective of the chart. And when you come for this live section, that's where you get to actually what this is like an eye opener. Because what a lot of things you see as other block, we don't see it as other block on this channel. And that is why this channel is here to actually what guide you, to actually what explain all of those things to you, and you get to see the bigger picture you are not seeing. And that's why it's advisable you actually would join our free Telegram channel, so that what those trades we take, you actually would get to take our trades, and we get to grow together, just like this EU now. Now I think maybe you actually watching this, or you must have been looking for maybe other block here, trying to look for what was not there. So you actually see that what the market is not even the problem, but lack of discipline and understanding on the trader's part was the problem. Lack of understanding and discipline on the trader's part was the problem. So We hope to do this more, and be rest assured that this channel is here to always provide value, always make sure that value, great contents are being shared out so that what we can have more profitable traders out there, and we can all make money together. There's enough in the market for everyone, and me sharing my setup or me sharing my trade idea doesn't stop me from being profitable. But that's the best way I can actually give out value to the society and get to help the beginners and even those that maybe they feel they know it all. We learn every day, and for the fact that we learn every day is something we always have to come together as friends and family, as a community, actually share ideas, grow, and always build together. So let's continue to always show up. Let's continue to always come together to learn and to share ideas. After the classes that will be hosting October to December, I'll also have a VIP group, and the VIP group is not like a paid group. That group is strictly like kind of like the students will have to share their ideas. People in the group will share their ideas, their thoughts, and they will get corrected. So this channel is all about building, it's all about empowering, and that is what we are here for, to make sure that everyone gets to become a pro trader. And when you become a pro trader one day or someday, please do it to actually give out value. Always do it to give a lifting hand to someone out there too, because traders are actually going through a lot. Let me not even talk about those that are depressed, those that are actually suffering one mental or psychological issue. A lot of traders are sick. You won't understand till you're there. So anytime you have that time to actually help someone, explain something to them, please do it to create time to actually uh help someone grow, help someone build, and help someone succeed in this trading space. Uh, so my own power and my own for my to my own power and to my own capacity and capability, that's why I've actually taken out my time to devote the last 3 months of this year to actually build new traders, upcoming traders, those that have been in the trading industry, and those that actually want to still grow, and those that actually want to still improve on their trading career. I'm here, I and my team, to actually make sure we're able to empower and grow more successful traders industry for free. For free. I know the stress, I know the finances and everything is going to cost, but that's the burden I want to carry to actually make sure that I'm able to actually help others in this space to grow. Everything is not about um, money. Everything is not about. I know how much I will have actually make if I will have actually charged for this class. I know how much I will have actually made. $1,000. Let me say minimum $1,000, but money is not everything. Let's try to always try to sometimes give out value to those that are serious. I know a lot of times giving out free classes for people, a lot of times they don't take it serious, but for sure, uh, I've come to a conclusion that I'll be doing this once in a year to actually give back to the society as a way of telling God thank you for a successful year, for my family, and for everything in general. Me saying thank God doesn't mean that my life was the best. I didn't cry. I didn't have time where I was broken, depressed, or broke. But definitely, I know that is life. That is life. Struggles comes because to build you and to make you stronger. And that is why I'm here to say thank you. And knowing that trading is not an easy game, it's not something that is so easy the way influencers online make it look like, because we can't count the numbers of persons that have actually committed suicide. We can't count the number of persons that are in the state of depression. Until you get to have time to talk with fellow traders, then you get to understand why you should always give a helping hand. Anyone that is actually close to me, anyone that have my contact saved on their phone and is a trader that actually related with me, knows fully well that what cousin is always open, cousin is always there to actually, even if it means you or me giving you a call to actually talk to you, actually give you some little advice, I'm always there. And that's it. So far I started my trading classes. If you come to me, if I tell you my course and you tell me this is what you have, I'm always ready to help. I'm always ready to help. A lot of persons on this live section, they also know that what if you come to me that this is what you have, I don't stick to what I gave you as my price. That is how far I actually want to help other people grow in this industry and they actually will be very, very successful. I know what I've gone through. I know how far trading has been so hectic. I know what I've suffered for the past years in the hands of trading, but come on. The truth is always have to be there for ourselves. And I hope those have actually gotten the ticket to the final class group will actually take great opportunity of this, because I know how much energy and how much time and resources I'll be putting into this. I know how much time and energy I'll be putting into this. But what if you come to that class and you decide not to be serious? Then I think the same thing you're supposed to get for free, go pay for it somewhere else heavily. Anyone that knows me, what I charge for my class is least is $100. 100. So please, if you know you signed up for the class, please do well to make sure take opportunity of this. Do well, a good opportunity, because after this it will be till next year, and only God knows if I will still have the strength or the time to actually do this next year. You won't know what it means to actually what sit to actually what you want to teach over 100 persons for free daily. Daily, you're devoting your time for free. Trading is not something that is easy. Don't worry. Even if I should sit here and say it, I think this is what we'll actually get to be sharing on the live section and be sharing in the class. I think those are actually signing up for the class. That's where what I have to get all of this for free. So definitely God will give us the strength, and with the support of my team and with the cooperation of other members that sign up for the class, who gets to actually make this year's class. This is the biggest I'm actually hosting. Other ones I do host is usually on my birthdays, and it's just maybe for like 2 to 5 persons, 2 to 5 persons. I'm not actually hosted up to this amount, but uh, God was so wonderful, and He has always been wonderful. And I actually want to make sure that what this year on, I get to end this year in a bigger way. So thank you for everyone that joined today's live section, and above all, we give God the praise. We can also always come back to this YouTube every Monday to actually what learn together and to grow together. And to our subscribers and to our community members, thank you for always tuning in. Thank you for always coming here, because without you, there is no live section on the smart candles. Without you, I can't come live here too, because I can't be teaching myself. So you coming here is your own way of supporting me when I come to actually what give out my value. Because one thing is coming to give out value, and people also willing to receive the value. So thank you so much for always coming. Thank you for always stopping by to also watch and support my videos here on YouTube. So I'm very, very grateful. I'm very, very grateful. And to actually show my appreciation to everyone that has been supporting me, that's why what I'm actually giving at this free class for 3 months, to actually make sure that I get to also empower my community, empower my friends and family, and everyone out there that actually want to take trading as their next source of income, and also to share my own personal experience during these classes, the mistakes I made, the losses I incurred, things I did that I wasn't supposed to do. I'll be breaking all of those things during the live classes. Do well not to miss this opportunity. Sorry if you're on this live and you haven't signed up, it's already closed. Already closed. See you next year. The only thing you can actually do is either to keep up with the channel and watch our videos that will be shared. Yeah, so thank you once again and do have a great week ahead. For those on the Telegram channel, all the trades that were analyzed, for the ones who take, strictly with trade the USD, JPY, GBP, JPY, and Bitcoin, so they will all be sent on the Telegram channel. And any other trade that wasn't sent there or won't be sent there, we already gave the directional buyers here on the live section. So go ahead to actually will look for those confirmations and take those trades, but other ones will be sent on the group. So thank you once again. Thank you once again. All right. Bye.